Hey friends and followers, Michael McFarland here, sitting in McFarland's corner, and I'm going to give you a Lake Fort rundown for August 3rd and August 4th. In essence, the first week of August. So for several months now, I've been giving you a board that's covering the lake level, the current lake clarity, and the current day-to-day water temperatures. What I want to first discuss with you is this is a very unusual summer. The rate of falling in our lake is almost next to none. Okay? This is last Saturday's level, 402.14. The number below it is the Saturday before that, 1 week back, 402.29. Okay? That's less than an inch and a half an entire week. Now, we did get a little bit of rain, but not enough to really raise the lake. It kind of balanced things. But in one whole week, we have gone down less than an inch and a half, when it's very common in June, July, or August to have the lake go down an inch a day. Usually it's a half-inch municipal source use, a quarter-inch rate of flow, and a quarter-inch of evaporation. Folks, we're not getting any of that. My ground is still very, very wet out here in the woods. I live in the north end of the lake. My pond is still full. I'm not having to water my lawn. The mornings are very cool and moisture in the grass. It's absolutely amazing. So our lake level, we're not even a foot below full pool. It's awesome. Okay, yesterday, 402.07. This morning, 402.04. I didn't fish yesterday, but I did give you some water parameters. It's in the mid-80s in the main lake. Upper 90s in the backwater. The backwaters are hot. There are still shad in those backwaters. As long as there's grasses, lily pads, and things to keep the water oxygenated, they will stay back there. As that water gets too hot, and a lack of oxygen is the main reason they will pool out, okay? The way things are being, we still have backwater fish. There's still shallow fish as well as deep fish. Today, water temperatures, 85.2 in the morning, 86 when we came off. Visibility, it is changing. The water is beginning to brown. I call it summer brown. It's basically because it's getting hotter. You're having a lot of bacterial content. You're just having a lot of stuff, junk grow in the lake, okay? It's turning brown not because of mud or rain or flood. It's just summer water, okay? Hot. It's getting hot. Again, we talked about the lake level. Overall, the mid-85 seems to be the parameter of the main lake. And normally, it's much hotter, 4, 5, 6 degrees. What I've experienced in the past 4 or 5 years is the morning should be 86, 87, 88 maybe, and the nightfall, the end of the day, 92, 93. Much cooler conditions have allowed for today's beatdown. Let's talk fishing. We beat the brakes off them this morning, folks. Basically fishing structure in shallow shell beds. When I say shallow shell beds, I don't mean like the shallow ones in spring. I don't mean the 0 to 6 foot ones. I mean the 10 to 12 to 14 foot shallow wind-blown shell beds. In the morning, those are like a deer feeder, and the bass are feeding on those shell beds. The real most important thing about that is right now, they need to be adjacent to deep water. Right? You have to have a structure that has a shallow feature on it and a deep feature on it, all together, okay? Basically what I'm doing, the numbers that we caught today, they came on the Sandtone football piglet, stand-up shaky head, with the Zoom Magnum trick worm, African special, soaked in the real-time rods magic reaction. Now this is a scent. This is an oil-free scent. All right, it absorbs into the plastic, and I promise you, in fact, I guarantee you that we catch more fish. They bite the bait better more often. They hold the bait longer for deeper hook sets. They don't want to spit it out. Magic reaction is one of the biggest secrets in my fishing career. Okay, certainly here on Fork, it's the difference maker. All right, again, no oils, it isn't messy. When I throw this bait, I'm throwing this on a real-time rods, 7'3", 1225. That's basically equal to a 5-power rod. I throw it on 20-pound fluorocarbon, 7-to-3 gear ratio with a Daiwa Tatula reel. All right, I want to try my best to set up the boat position so that I can drag this uphill. When I drag this uphill, The stand-up shaky head stays standing up the whole time. It's like a fish head down busy eating, okay? The fish can't resist. The bass can't resist. Predators, okay? If I throw this the opposite, gravity, even underwater, can take over, and the bait will roll, and the tail can fall, and it does not have the same presentation as if I drag it uphill, okay? So drag the shaky head uphill, or at the very least, clip at an angle the structure and the shell bed that you're fishing. Again, that's what caught the numbers today. Average fish was in about 12 to 14 feet. As the morning progressed, we went across the lake and found a little bit more wind-blown dominant shell bed, and we changed baits. We went to the sand tone, 3/4 ounce football shaky head in JC's Spicy Craw. Now this color here is called Pake's Perch. I throw this more in the spring, but the JC Spicy Craw tipped with a Rage Craw green pumpkin lobster. The lobster is the big one. That was responsible for 4 of our big fish today, and baby, we had them. 3 of our big fish pushed us near 20 pounds. All right. Sandtone, 3/4 ounce, football jig, JC Craw. I throw this on my 6-power McFarland's signature 6-power real-time rod. It's an MB, 7'3", 1530. Okay. Spooled up with a high-speed gear ratio, 8.3 Daiwa Tatula SV. This thing brings the big fish home. I can deadlift 1 gallon of oil right off the deck of my boat. Have no problem boat flipping them 4 or 5 pounders like little cookie cutters. One of my favorite, most rods I've ever got to design. Thank you, Louie, and Real Time Rods. Get you the McFarland signature MB 7'3", 1530. You won't regret it. All right. So listen, guys, I know you're hearing some redundancy in baits. For several weeks now, I've been talking about the same colors, the same exact baits. The reason that I want to instill this in you is that it's not the arrow, it's the hunter. The first thing is location, location, location. If they aren't there, we can't catch them. All right. The baits, they only have a certain amount of choices. All right. To have a boat full of all kinds of things can be very, very confusing to the fisherman. All right. It's much more simple to have a certain mainstay. I call it commodity bait. Certain things you know they're going to eat. Apply it to the best you can. Apply it in the right location and stay with it. That's one of my best tips. There is rarely ever secret bait, secret color. I mean, there's some times that some things have some influence. But if you see I use the same thing, I use pretty much the same colors. They change a little bit with water clarity and seasonal patterns. But I stay with the same thing because it's not the arrow, it's the hunter. All right? That's my gist of a rundown for August 3rd, August 4th. Remember, give me thumbs up below if you're enjoying this and learning anything. Any questions or comments, sure love to see them below. In the future, I am going to be doing some requests for topics, and there's a few that just can't be done. If you're wanting the sonar lessons as topics, it just can't be done, at least by me. I can do them on the water. Book a trip with me, go on the water with me, and what am I seeing course? That's fine. That's what we'll call it, a 2-hour what am I seeing class. But for me to actually get it on film on the water, it's really hard. The sonars tend to have a glare and all kinds of issues. But please, comments below. I'll do my best to answer them back, and I'll do my best to potentially make them become a topic in the future. Thank you for watching. I'm Michael McFarland, giving you a Lake Fork rundown.